We are on the record in 2025 TR 110, State of Kansas versus Jonathan Kane Charles, County Attorney Jared Regier appearing for the state, and Mr. Charles appearing in person, in custody, and pro se.
He's not in custody, Judge.
Oh, thank you. Sometimes habits. Mr. Charles appearing in person and pro se on one count of operating a motor vehicle without the proper classification of license. Were you driving a motorcycle without an endorsement?
Without a motorcycle license, yes.
No.
I had an actual license, just not a motorcycle license.
Okay, I got you. May 2nd, 2025, you were going to look into diversion. Did you do that?
I didn't have time to. My grandfather passed away and I was dealing with my kids going to Head Start and everything while working a full-time job. I've had so much on my plate in the last month or so. I haven't had time to do anything like that.
All right. Well, how do you answer to the charge then? Do you plead guilty?
I'm gonna plead guilty on it.
Well, you can plead guilty, admitting it, plead no contest, where you don't admit it or deny it. Either way, you'd be found guilty and proceed to sentencing. Or you can plead not guilty, and we can set it for trial at a later date.
What do you mean for sentencing? Like,
for sentencing, I mean, like if you plead guilty today, I'm going to tell you what your fine and costs and any suspended sentence would be.
okay. I'm guilty. That I did it.
In your own words, what'd you do?
I operated a motor vehicle without a motorcycle license.
So, and the motor vehicle, as you said, was
a motorcycle.
A motorcycle. All right. Is anyone making you enter this plea today, Mr. Charles, by any threats or promises?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand you're giving up your right to a trial and you won't get it back if you change your mind?
Yes, ma'am.
And that you'll most likely be found guilty and unable to appeal the conviction?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is anyone making you do this?
No.
All right. And you're pleading guilty because you did drive, was it, as the officer said, a 2005 Yamaha without a motorcycle license?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I accept your plea and find you guilty. Recommendations for sentencing, Mr. Regier?
As a preliminary matter, Your Honor, I have reviewed my notes from the previous hearings in this case. The state is not aware of any instance whether or not the possibility of counsel of record for the defense has been addressed, so the state will be requesting a ruling before this matter proceeds further on that issue.
Okay, well, it's not an enhanceable offense, but for the record, do you understand you have the right to hire an attorney or apply for court appointed if you can't afford one?
Yes,
and
ma'am.
knowing that, do you wish to waive your right and represent yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
And is anyone making you waive your right to counsel?
No, ma'am.
Very well. I will find the defendant does waive his right to counsel, both orally, and the officer's going to give him a document there to sign in writing as well.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, if the court is prepared to proceed to disposition in this matter, the state would recommend a $100 fine, court costs that the court impose a suspended jail sentence of 120 days subject to a 6-month non-reporting probationary period. I will defer to the court as to any issues concerning repayment of this matter.
Very well. All right, Mr. Charles, where do you work?
I work at Curbs Plus here in town on Metcalf Street. Metcalf.
Okay. Mr. Charles, I'm going to fine you $100 and assess 108 court costs. How long will it take you to pay the 208?
By the end of the month.
I'll give you 30 days to pay. Now
Okay.
you have to pay it, don't forget.
I won't forget.
I'm going to give you a suspended jail sentence, 120 days. You will not have to serve that as long as you successfully complete a 6-month non-reporting probation. That means you don't see a probation officer, you don't report to anyone, but you're responsible for yourself to complete the 6-month probation, which has only 2 conditions. The first one is pay this 208 within 30 days, pay it at the clerk of the district court. They're just down the hall from where you are now, and don't violate any laws. If you violate the law, it's a violation of your probation. You could get it revoked and serve your sentence of 120 days. If you don't pay the 208 within 30 days, it's a violation of your probation. Probation could be revoked. You could serve your 30 days. Also, if you don't get it paid, Topeka could suspend your license. And then if you drove, that'd be a misdemeanor. Also, you could get a collection agent after you, and he could garnish your bank account, your check, your paycheck, and so forth. So as long as you do those 2 things, pay within 30 days and don't violate the law, you won't have to serve the jail time. In this case, will close for successful completion of probation in 6 months.
Okay, so
Yeah.
does that mean that my driver's license is suspended, or I can still drive my vehicle, my car?
I don't have any control over the suspension. I don't know that it's
My
suspended.
license isn't suspended right now. That's what I was asking. Like,
Oh, okay. You're asking what I meant. I
yeah,
meant if you violate your probation, if you don't
okay,
pay this, it could become suspended.
okay,
But the actual suspension process is up to the folks in Topeka.
okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're excused at this time. Okay, Mr. Patterson back yet with Sabrina?
Clinton's still on break.
He hasn't even made it to the breakout room. McClendon is still in there.
Oh, McClendon's holding things up. Okay. Anyone not in jail you need a breakout room with Mr. Patterson, or not in security?
Judge, I'm ready on everybody except for Sabrina Valdovinos.
Are you ready on Muhammad Gabusa Abdi?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's take.
All right, let's talk about that. This hearing, featuring Jonathan Kane Charles, was a classic case of a sincere defendant owning up to a very avoidable mistake and doing it with respect, clarity, and even a bit of humility. Mr. Charles was charged with operating a motorcycle without the proper endorsement, and there was no ducking or dodging from him. Right off the bat, he admitted he had a regular driver's license, just not one for a motorcycle, and yes, he was riding a Yamaha. No arguments, no excuses, just a matter-of-fact admission, and a polite tone throughout. Now, the court did ask whether he wanted to plead guilty, no contest, or not guilty. Mr. Charles went straight for guilty, but not before the judge walked him through the implications in full, waiving his right to a trial, the consequences of a conviction, and his right to an attorney. To her credit, Judge Webster made sure he understood everything and gave him every opportunity to change course. But Charles stood by his choice, and the judge accepted his plea. The discussion then turned to sentencing. And here's where it gets interesting. Despite this being a relatively low-level charge, the judge took the time to make sure Charles knew what came next: a $100 fine, $108 in court costs, and a suspended sentence of 120 days in jail, hanging over his head during a 6-month non-reporting probation. The terms: simple. Pay the $208 within 30 days and don't break any laws. That's it. No check-ins, no supervision. Just stay clean and square it up with the court. Judge Webster even explained the possible consequences if he missed that payment: probation, revocation, potential jail time, license suspension, and collections. It wasn't harsh. It was clear, firm, and direct. The kind of courtroom structure that holds people accountable without dragging them down. Charles asked one last question about whether his license was suspended now, and the judge clarified, not yet, but if he fails to pay, it could be. That brief exchange perfectly captured the tone of the whole hearing: fair, procedural, and respectful on both sides. Honestly, what stood out most was how smoothly it all ran. Mr. Charles showed up, admitted the mistake, took responsibility, and walked out with a plan. The court, for its part, gave him the space to do that with dignity. So no fireworks, no theatrics, justice system doing what it should, handling small matters with a steady hand. If you found this hearing insightful, consider subscribing, hitting the bell, and letting me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every one.